Hey, it's Rebecca with Rain Nail Studio, and today I'm going to talk about nail tips. I figured this video would be helpful for anyone thinking or wanting to buy beginner nail tech supplies. I'm just going to give you guys some tips and show you the tips that I like, the tips I don't like. I have acquired many different types over the last year or so. So we're going to hop right into it. My model today is going to be Evelyn, and I have her prepped here. I did just slide these in. These came with this practice hand. They're supposed to be, I guess, the nail beds, but they are just like a full well nail tip pretty much. So I just slide those in there. I did not glue them down because it's hell to get the nail off. So we'll get right into this. The first nail tips that I ever purchased were these right here. And I do not like these whatsoever. They're supposed to be square, but they are a bit more tapered than square, if you could see that. So they might be helpful trying to do a coffin shape, but what I don't like about these nail tips is that they, like the curve on them is just very strong, and they are very strong nail tips. So if I was trying to put this on, these are a 5, this size here is a 5. If I try to put this on, you can see there is a gap. So I would have to apply pressure to keep the nail tip on there. And the issue that I run into with that is that when I'm filing, before I apply acrylic, it tends to pop off. I've tried using a little bit of glue. I've tried using, an excessive glue, and they just come off because they're not laying flat. So these would be perfect for someone who has very curved nail beds, but I have not run into that with my practice clients. So these are not useful to me whatsoever. And then another issue that I have with these is that when I clip, when I clip them to start shaping or to shorten the length, I get a very cloudy tip or edge. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's like a white line of demarcation. The next ones that I secondly purchased that I thought would be better are these stiletto nail tips. I also got these off of Amazon, and I thought these would be helpful because of the end here, how it curves. I thought it would be helpful trying to adhere them, not having this thick end here. But these are very curved as well. If you can tell, it comes down to the side. I thought these would be helpful with, getting a good, perfect coffin shape, getting them easily on there. But because they are also strong curve, I get a very strong C curve, and my practice clients do not like that shape whatsoever. They do not like a strong C curve. They like the flat look. So these are doing the same thing. I get a little gap, so I will have to apply a little bit of pressure, which I guess these would be okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that on this nail now, just so I can show you guys what I'm talking about when I say C curve. And a C curve is something that aesthetically is popular. Some people do like a strong C curve. If you go on Instagram, you'll find a lot of posts where the nails have a very strong C curve. So I'm just gonna apply this here. Let's see if it'll work for us today. All right, so that is on there. I'm gonna go ahead and clip just the tip off. So do you see that there? Makes it very difficult, because if you don't want to get that white line of demarcation, you're gonna have to go in, and it still kind of gives that white line, which really sucks. But I'll show you guys here. You see that? People do not like that. So like if I were to clip it shorter, it would be much stronger. And there is a particular way you file these types of nail shapes. So what you don't want to do is go under this way. You want to go against the side. And this is if you have someone that wants a strong C curve, because you want to keep that shape. See what I'm saying? It popped off because it didn't want to stay down. I had to apply too much pressure to keep it on there. So it popped off. I thought that they would help with coffin shape, but they're just too curved. So these I bought just last week. These resemble the stiletto tips I just showed you. Now they have this here, but they're more flat. So these I'm looking forward to using. And I really bought these just for easier almond. Okay, looks like we're gonna have to apply a bit of pressure on that one as well, but let's just check it out here. They did not have these in the natural color, so I was only able to get them in clear. All right, I'm trying to make sure that's on there really good. It's a little bit big, but I just want to see what happens when I clip off the tip. So you get a very small white line, but it's nothing extreme like those other ones. I really do not like this practice hand, you guys. I really do not. Okay, so these might really work for me. I really like these nail tips. And like I said, these are new, so I'm just checking them out. And they are flat, so they don't have that ugly C curve that people don't like. I personally don't like it either. And these I also got off of Amazon. I will go ahead and make a list on Amazon of all of my favorite nail tech items. That way you guys can shop from there, because I don't like leaving the link for every single thing. It's just too much work. So those tips work really well because they are more flat. The next tip that I have here is by the brand BU. This is my favorite brand of nail tips. And what I like about this particular one, this Half Moon, it says dramatic high profile arch. So this is where you're gonna get that extreme curve, okay? When you put this on a finger, it is so curved so beautifully. So let's get one sized here. And also what I like about this is the very edge here is not too, too flat, too straight. It has a bit of a curve so that when you go to apply it, it just goes on there beautifully. Like, you cannot see a gap. I'm not having to apply pressure. It's gonna be that perfect nail tip. Just trying to get the right size here. All right, that's perfect. And what I prefer to do is apply the adhesive to the nail, and then to take the tip and just wiggle it on there a bit. And I prefer this method because I still have not mastered the application of glue. So sometimes if I put it onto the nail tip, it runs down the nail tip and it gets stuck to my fingers, and it's just not cute. So that is my preferred method of applying adhesive. But you can see it just went on there perfectly. You can see how curved it is. And this is on trend right now. I know that there is someone that does them like talons. It looks very odd, but these are the curved nail tips. And that is the high profile arch is what those are called by the BU brand. And these stay on here beautifully. So if you did want to change the length, obviously you can. But with curved nail tips, I don't see that being a thing, because that's the whole point of the high profile arch, is for them to be long. But I'm just gonna taper it just a little bit. And with curved nail tips, you just wanna go up against the side. You don't wanna go under, because then it'll get rid of the curve. So you just wanna go up against the side, 90-degree angle. So there's that. I took a little bit of length off, but you still have that curve. The next one I'm gonna show you is the Cosmo. This is also by BU. I do have these Cosmo and Half Moon in clear as well. And these Cosmo ones are a full well nail tip. Now, you will learn about this in school, but these tips are generally for people who bite their nails. So they might have a very short nail bed to where you cannot put, you know, the curved nail tips on. So that's where you'll apply it. You'll apply it right onto their nail bed, wherever it is. But this pretty much covers the entire nail, and that's just, you know, to help it be more secure, have more coverage on that nub. I'm just trying to get it on there really good. But they are flat compared to this arch one, you can see. And these are very, they're much more common to use these. People do like the flat. I always ask, like, do you want a C curve? Do you not want it? And if they don't know what I'm referring to, which most clients won't, I generally just show them this way. Like, I show them how it's gonna look if I, you know, put it in this angle. And they generally choose the flat ones. So give them the side profile to give them a choice. They generally choose these. I am steering away from using these as much because, like I said, these are for nail biters. I need to preserve my items, if y'all know what I mean. And these also come in squares, so that's that. Next we have these, this one is the Royal Salon Enchanted Squares Low C Curve. The reason I got these is because they're a low C curve, just like the Cosmo ones. And because these are pretty popular, I decided to get these since they're not a full well tip, where they don't have to cover the entire portion of the nail bed. But what I didn't realize is that they are still a bit of a strong curve, so we'll see what happens. Okay, yeah, you can see there, I'm not having to apply any pressure, and it's gonna go on there beautifully. Now, when using the practice hand, you don't have to get it at the correct size because you can just file it. But just keep in mind, when you are working on a live person, you will need to have the exact size, okay? But this is just for practice purposes. This is for all my new nail ladies that are interested in stocking up on nail supplies so that they can practice if they're thinking about enrolling in school, anything to that effect. So generally I would use a straight edge nail clipper, but today I just have my old nail clippers. You can see they're a little dated. I'm just gonna file these. All right, so I'm gonna clip the end here to see if we get a line of demarcation. Success. So there it is. I have no line of demarcation. It went on easily, and it is flat, just like the Cosmos I just showed you. It has a bit more of a C curve, but nothing too drastic. So I really like these. But like I said, my favorite brand is BU. This BU, you just have to type it in on Amazon. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below. Again, my name is Rebecca, and I hope to see you soon.